Let's welcome on board Himanshu Baid. He's the Managing Director at Ploy Medicure to understand what the business prospects are looking like. Himanshu, thank you so much for speaking with ET. Now, I wanted to begin by asking you about the guidance that you had given about FY24, that the growth rate will be around 20%. Is that on track? And what's giving you the confidence that 20% growth rate momentum will continue?
So thank you very much for inviting me. I think the growth rate will continue, and we are on track for that FY24 guidance. And there are three reasons for that. One is the push on exports. So exports continue to do well for us. And then we are expecting a few FDA approvals in next few months, and that will also help us to enter the US market. And that is also something we are looking forward to. Though it was a little bit delayed because some changes in the US FDA policies after COVID, and there were also a lot of backlogs there. But now I think we're expecting some fast track from there. And also India is also on a rapid recovery path. So I think all that COVID, sales are over. The hospitals are back operating normally, and that will also help us to increase our revenue in India also.
So since you talked about the fact that you're expecting a couple of US FDA approvals in the coming 2 to 3 months, could you detail out how export is doing and what kind of uptick do you expect from these approvals to come by?
So we have given a long-term guidance that US in next 2 to 3 years, we should be able to build a revenue of around $12 to $15 million, which is almost negligible today, is around less than $1 million. And Europe is doing very well for us. So 1/3 of our total revenue comes from Europe. And there's a great momentum which continues in European market for us.
Well, you also forayed into the dialysis category under the PLI scheme, which involves manufacturing of machines, dialyzers, and other medical equipments. Do you believe this segment has the potential to record double-digit growth going forward?
So we have grown close to around 40% last year in the segment. And though, of course, the base was very small, but what we see, there are some headwinds in the sector because of unregulated imports coming from China. And also because of lower duty right now, the Chinese companies are able to dump products in India. And some of the companies are also misusing our FTAs with neighboring countries like Thailand and Malaysia, where they use some pseudo manufacturing and then come to India, with almost like a zero duty regime.
And Himanshu, you had raised capital a couple of years ago, which you had talked about building some plants and increasing capacity as well. Could you talk to us about how those Capex plans are progressing? And over the next 2 years, what kind of capacity will come on board?
So we are building 4 new plants as we speak, and all these plants will be operational in this current calendar year. This is year 23. And there are 3 plants which are specifically designed for specific work. So one is for US business expansion, one is for European markets, and one is for India expansion. So all 3 different geographies where we are focusing on, 3 plants will cater 3 different categories of products. And one plant is mainly for diagnostic products, and that also will go online by end of the year.
So if you see the capital expenditure that has been happening in the hospital space, it has been on a rise. So what is the kind of growth that your market expansion that you are seeing in the hospital space firstly, and where do you see your market share to be in the domestic market?
So currently, our share in India is close to around 5%, but we cover around 5 to 6,000 hospitals. And I think, and we think there is a possibility to go deeper in these hospitals because we have around maybe 15 to 20% market share now in where we operate today. And probably there are around 20,000 plus hospitals in the country which are over 50 bed and which are of size and which matter to us. And we will continue to expand in those areas where we've not gone before or the hospitals not worked before. And in the current hospitals where we work, I think we are seeing a much more traction, much more deeper penetration. So we are also, probably increased numbers there. We'll increase at least 30-40% revenue from existing hospitals also where we work. So overall, there is a lot of growth potential from where we are sitting and what we see in next 3 to 5 years in India.
Okay, Himanshu, so the prospects look quite positive. We let you go on that optimistic note.